Are you guys ready?
All right, guys.
Rejection.
No.
No.
No, go away.
That's rejection.
Oh.
I'm showing
like,
by example.
no.
Oh,
I'm like, what?
What?
Yeah.
Don't say no to me. No, I'm kidding.
I don't know what you're saying. No?
I'm
What
like,
is this?
Yeah.
okay, we want to talk about rejection.
But first, welcome back to.
No filter, no fear.
Took you a second there, but yeah, I'll cut it in. Go again.
No filter, no fear.
I like the little muscle right there. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. That was no.
You
3,
fucked up.
2, 1. There we go. That's what I'm gonna get you like some little lights or
Like, I
something.
need-
Yeah,
we should get like
You're
a
the pom poms, just pop them out.
Yeah. Just after
my
we get
never
it.
fulfilled dream of being a cheerleader. I've always
Oh,
wanted to be
is
one.
that your
Oh,
dream?
really?
Yeah, because in Poland, we don't have cheerleading. Well, maybe now,
Maybe.
but back in the day when I was born, which was 31 years ago,
Is cheerleading distinctly an American thing?
I don't know. I know that basketball has always been a big sport in America. In Poland, it was a sport, but we never like paid attention to it much.
I think that's
so
changed now, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
it
more
has
it's
changed,
an
yeah.
Olympic sport now, so it's international for sure.
yeah, so we definitely have basketball. We've always had basketball, but no one would put as much pressure on it as soccer and tennis.
course.
Of
Those
course.
are always international.
But I've always watched these like High School Musical and the American movies, and I'm
American
like,
high school movies where they're
I'm like,
bring it
I want to be a
on, stuff
cheerleader.
like that.
What the heck? I was just so hyped for these girls, and I'm like, I want to fly in the air. Although I'd probably be the base. Then I came here, and I was excited to go to college, but then I didn't go to like a big college, so I never
They didn't have a
experienced.
cheerleading program.
No, I think it's so badass. But anyway, I want to talk about rejection because
Okay.
I've had this topic with my current boyfriend, and he made a great point where because men typically are the ones that usually have to approach a lady, especially if you were brought up traditionally, I feel like that's the appropriate thing to do.
Mhm.
You are more resilient and more used to rejection and hearing the no. Versus women, we're the ones that make a decision whether we allow you to come in or not. And then, wait,
Come in and come out. Not.
why do I always have to say stuff that,
No, you're speaking normal. That's
okay.
just
He's
the
not
filter
normal.
over here that has no fear.
Don't hate.
But we are just like, I'm dead. But yeah, we don't really hear
I
much
got
no.
my Rihanna energy right now.
I see it.
Yeah,
Didn't she wear red on Super Bowl show too?
She
Yeah,
wears,
yeah,
wears
she
every
wears red
color.
a lot.
I love
No,
that
no.
for her.
Color
She
on
looks
her.
great in
I
red.
just
a
love
good
how
color.
she just wears it like
Oh,
should be like half
You gotta
off.
show the shoulder. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, a little
Oh,
shoulder.
let
I
me see
gotta
your
show the
shirt.
shirt.
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
That's
Outcast.
why. Respect
Hell yeah.
It's a
to
wild.
the legends right
Good
there.
shirt.
Love that. Great
Yeah.
fit choice as always.
Favorite song?
What's that?
What's your favorite song?
I don't have a favorite song
Mm.
of them, yeah. But I know they are. I just, not the music I would typically
I
listen
mean, the
to.
song I know most is I forgot the
Hey
title
Ya?
of it. Like, hey, yeah. Exactly what I was about to say.
I already know everybody's favorite. Oh yeah, that one. I was like,
I
Yeah.
also worked with a million wedding bands, and that's like the one song they play from Outkast
really?
every time. So I like ingrained in my brain.
yeah, good songs though.
It
But
is.
anyways, let's continue with Rejection.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what do you guys think? I believe that men are used to rejection more and women have a hard time dealing with it.
Yeah, I think you're talking in the relationship aspect.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But I've seen women in the workplace, and that's where they just don't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Especially black women. Gotta give it up to black women. They don't take no for shit. They will
Yeah.
fight you.
I'd also say it's one of those things that, like, yes, I guess on a societal point of view, guys tend to get rejected more.
Hmm.
But like on a more nuanced thing, I don't think it necessarily always translates to being more used to rejection.
Mm.
It's like a thing. The thing is either you lean into it and you do get used to it, and you just kind of understand. You just got to go through the numbers in any case, especially
Mhm.
dating or this and that, or you get hardened by it.
Mm.
Like you learn to not try. You
Mm.
learn to like.
It's demotivating.
I would say
for
there's
sure.
definitely a good caveat of guys who just like
Well-
don't take chances because they rather not get rejected in the first
Mhm.
place. So because it's not fun for anybody. So it definitely is like on a person to person
Yeah.
level. Because it's like I think Dee brought up a good point. It's like there's other spheres I think women get rejected a lot.
A
Like
lot,
the
yeah.
workspace or different things like
Yeah.
having to prove yourselves. Where it's like they say guys are more privileged because like a guy in the workspace
In
can move
workspace,
up
yeah.
way more easier than
Yeah, I was speaking
more
strictly with like
tradition.
dating.
Like
Yeah.
dating is
But
yeah,
yeah.
one.
I'll say,
So it's like
yeah. And
I
I'll
think it's a
bring,
person to
yeah.
person thing.
And I'll bring up the topic that you always like to, like a lot of you and your friends like to discuss is about men not being strong enough,
Mm-hmm.
and in the sense of like approaching, talking to women, and then
It's
like,
hard though.
oh
Women
no, of
are
course,
vicious
We
nowadays.
appreciate your current sympathy.
yeah, but that's what I mean. It's just like rejection builds character in
Mm.
the essence. Like I think you said it a little earlier when I caught it. It was just like, no, I'm just hearing no until I get a yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
no is not now. That's what I've learned
Yeah.
also from just sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, oh, don't take no for an answer. No, it's a not now. It will eventually turn into a yes. And Pete
Sometimes,
calls me
though,
a
in
brat because I
No.
tell him that I'm like, I don't take no for an answer.
there are certain cases where no does mean no.
Yeah. No, I know, I know.
But no, yeah, but it's like again, that depends on like, are you able to take rejection in a healthy way?
Yeah.
Are you able? Do you have that perspective? Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's like
hard.
if you, there's always the unhealthy and healthy way to take things. That's the healthy way for sure.
Now,
It's like
as the
understanding.
only child, because we can relate on that,
Yes.
how was your upbringing? Like, would your parents mostly say yes to you, or mainly was a no, or it was like a healthy blend of both?
I would say my parents were more on the boat of that if they did disagree with something or they were not going to like let me do something or something like that, they would like they would attempt to explain it to me.
Okay, that's good.
They would tend to at least try to break it down. It's like, hey, it's a no because X, Y, and Z, and they were like, not necessarily sugar. It's like, hey, it's dangerous. I don't feel comfortable with you doing this and that, regardless of how I felt about it. Like if I'm throwing a tantrum at 8 years old about a toy, it's just like, hey, it's just we can't get it now.
Right.
Maybe later. So my parents did like my mom did certain things like, you really like this? Go and hide it. Department stores must have hated me because I would take
I
a
did.
toy I want and I would find some random aisle and like I'll put it behind like the most random products so that I hope
So
when
you
I
can
come back weeks
return.
later
I've done
and
it.
find
That's
it.
so funny.
But like that
Aw.
was a way of like, okay, because maybe my mom wasn't in the financial position
Mm.
to get me everything I wanted,
Yeah.
whatever.
Of course.
But like they would handle that. I respected them because I think that was a healthy way to do it instead of just saying no for no.
Because I said so.
Yeah.
I was such a brat. Like, I always was just like whying everything. I would be like, why not? And then my parents really had to come up with solutions because I would not just take no for an answer. Like, why are we, why are we
Yeah.
saying no? Like, I have, I'm a 4.0 student. I'm an athlete. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. Like, why are you saying no to me?
That's the same thing with me. I was like, I'm a very quiet kid, and I was also like, I had my stubborn side, but for the most part, I listened to authority.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
wasn't like I didn't act out too much. I never got into drugs or anything like
Yeah.
that, really. My dad always says like, you were too easy for me. Like you like
Aw.
the same music I like. You pretty much dressed the same way I didn't
So
feel
cute.
like you were like a stranger to me.
Aw.
But like also I think as like an only child,
Mm.
your parents are at least fortunate enough to be able to just focus on you, learn you, and not be split.
Yeah.
I'm sure it must have been like a little
Different for
different when
D.
you have a parent with multiple children. Like you can't have that type of dedication. I mean, how were your parents when
What's
it came
the
to like
gap?
denying
Your
you
age gap.
My
things or
gap
like
with my brothers and sisters is pretty. My brother's like 3 years. My sister and me are 11 months apart.
okay,
She's
so not too
younger.
far.
Yeah. Us growing up, it was just you know, I think like obviously sharing is different than being a single child where you obviously have to know. It's like
You don't
no,
have to
like
share with
yeah.
anyone
I mean, luckily
realistically.
for my sister, she didn't really have to share anything because she's a girl.
Mhm.
But
Mm.
with my brother, there were a couple things that we just had to share, but we had such different things. Like he was more like he liked doing athletic things like soccer and stuff like that. I like playing video games and being on the computer and doing other things. So
Okay.
yeah, but computer sharing, obviously with the whole family when it first started, the dial-up and all that stuff.
Yeah, the
So
house computer.
yeah, exactly. The house computer.
And the
Everybody,
CPU
the
that's
one.
locked into that
It's
one
only
desk.
one computer everybody gets to turn once in a while.
Yeah.
And then if the computer's acting up, somebody was watching porn. It's like, yeah, so we know who it was.
But in terms of hearing no from your parents, like how was that for you?
Normal. I mean, I heard it all the time.
But like, were they just like, no, that's it?
Yeah, it was like.
And how did you
They
take
didn't
it?
give you like an explanation why not?
Did
Well,
you
I
just
mean, like
take
it
it?
depended on what it was that I was asking for, but I feel like I never asked that much,
Okay.
from as a kid, like so it wasn't like that big of a deal to me.
Okay.
Like whenever I got a gift, it was like more cherished than anything because I didn't get that many gifts. I feel
Oh,
like
okay.
like it was only a certain time, like and it's not like my parents didn't try. It was just like I
Yeah, it
feel
was a
like
few of you guys.
yeah, well, I just feel like I was so different from regular kids in the sense of like what I wanted, and especially for like immigrant parents, it's just like, oh, he just wants to play video games. Like one, video games were expensive as shit. Like
Oh yeah.
back then
Back
and
in the day,
now, and
And
yeah.
it's
it's
just like
such a new technology that it's
mm,
hard for older
yeah,
generations to really understand,
yeah.
unless they really got into like the
Mm.
original games in the
Yeah,
arcade.
yeah. I feel like my parents saw me and they knew I was different overall. Just like from normal kids, I was gonna be like that black duckling, and it's
He's a
gonna be
rebellious
fine.
kid. We
Yeah.
love those.
Yeah.
But as far as no, I don't know. I can't click a moment in my mind or memory that like really
That's
like
beautiful though,
well like
because it's like
yeah
they at least treated it right in a
yeah.
way where it never stood out to you.
You know where I can say I've like I don't know if it's a dream, but I can say it's a distinctive moment that defined like my memory.
Sure.
Like I remember when I was just like either like below elementary school or like just like second or like first grade or something like that. And we just got into the playground and everybody's just running around and doing everything. And then I just remember just particularly like I was gonna go pick up the hose or something, and then like one kid just looked at me. I don't remember the guy, but I just remember he just and for whatever else that burned into my mind. It's just like
That
no,
the
like
disapproval.
yeah, it's just
Just
like
the
you can't pick this up, like for whatever the reason was. Um, the only other time I can think specifically, my parents told me no, but it wasn't like them trying to be harsh on me. It was more just like
Protection.
yeah, it was more just like I wanted the new Pikachu game that just came out.
nice.
Yeah, yeah, yellow.
I love
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
And my mom, like,
I got
obviously,
blue.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like stoked on it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get Pikachu. I'm gonna play it. Like, it's gonna be amazing. And my mom told me, like, yeah, 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 like, and like, like she was framing and like she got it already. But then came Christmas because this was during Christmas,
Yeah.
and it finds out like it got sold out everywhere and she couldn't get
She
it.
couldn't get.
Yeah,
Oh
and I was
no.
mad at her, and forever
Oh.
it
Because you
disturbed.
felt like
Yeah,
it was a done deal, and then just
yeah.
find out it really wasn't.
You
Yeah.
But
expected the
it
game that
almost.
wasn't there.
Absolutely. Like, well, I felt like she lied to me, and
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
she felt terrible about it. And I was just like, I just remember, just like obviously I was being pouty and stuff like
Yeah.
that,
Of
but
course.
You're a child.
yeah,
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 exactly.
but growing up, I truly, I guess I
So cute.
personally for me, I regret that because I was just like my mom always tried. And I see it now,
Oh, of course.
hindsight.
Yeah.
Like my parents were trying; they weren't rich like some of these other kids out here. Like no disrespect to them. Like I'm glad that they got to live lives that whatever they wanted. It was like sure, I'm not again. That's just me, I guess, projecting a little bit because I don't know particularly their lives.
Yeah,
But I've been around enough rich kids that I knew. Like I was like, they got things
yeah.
whenever they wanted.
The guilt from the way you reacted to that,
Yeah.
did that come like, did you feel that like earlier on, or is that something now looking back to where you're like, oh, I wish I didn't put
At
it
a
through
certain
that?
point, I grew into definitely like looking back, and that was a particular moment that I definitely looked back and I was sad about because I was just like, I
Mm.
wish I could have just told my mom, "Don't worry, it's Christmas, we're here
How
together."
old were
Yeah,
But
you though?
oh, it was like probably like 10 or something,
because
Yeah.
that
like
reminds me of
13,
a
somewhere around there.
a defining story for my memory
Yeah,
in that, and it's like, because like early on, um, I kind of like deemed in my brain
Mhm.
that like negative emotions are useless and only create negative results.
Mm.
Which there is something to say though. You need to process your emotions even if they're negative. And you
Yeah.
need to go learn how to be angry, but in a healthy way or stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But obviously, a kid, you're a kid. You don't know what you're doing, right? My mom taught me an important lesson. I was throwing this tantrum. I don't know what I was upset about or whatever. I was like 8 or whatever, right? And I'm throwing this tantrum. And I don't know where I got this from. I probably saw it in a show or in a movie. But I got so upset that I'm like, kicked her out. I was like, get out of the house. For whatever the reason.
Whoa.
For whatever the reason.
real
My
tantrum.
I was like
Yeah.
that. And
Hulk Victor came out. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right, like little mini
Shoot.
Victor. And my mom, she decides she's like, okay, fine.
Mm.
And she walked out and closed the front door on her.
You probably freaked
And
out.
I went over and I like closed the door and I'm like owning it. 2 seconds, I swear, 2 seconds, and I distinctly remember the feeling from that moment more than any like actual
Yeah.
details outside of that,
guilt.
of like that instant guilt and shame and like what I've done and everything. All she did was just go out the door and just stood there,
Yeah.
and like like,
The
but like
patient level
dude,
though.
but like I don't like that felt completely terrible. I remember opening the door like come back like oh right, right, and she was just there and then like of
Aw.
course like console. But
Mom's
I
great.
remember like at that point like. Wow, like going to that level is something I never, ever,
Want to do
ever
again.
want to do again. And I
Yeah.
did that. So it's like I felt it was like a valuable thing, like
Yeah.
that I credit like at that moment. It's like, hey, you need to understand what the potential consequences. Is this what you really wanted?
Yeah.
Because it's like so. But that
Good lesson
also
learned.
stuck and defined a lot of like how I think about those things.
Yeah, I mean, like I think shame and guilt, obviously, like you're saying about negative emotions, definitely plays a huge part. And I do think it's good to a certain degree,
Yeah.
obviously, to because if you have shame and guilt, at least you're able to be empathetic to others'
Mhm.
situation versus somebody that's a sociopath and like I don't really care.
They don't
And
care.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's what keeps you
uh,
from also like treating humans like humans.
yeah,
You
I
know,
agree. I agree 100%.
and keeping
So,
society.
so
upright.
guys, feel that shame, feel that guilt. Apologize if it's worth it.
But don't
Love your
harbor it.
parents
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
because life is
Uh,
short.
Moderation.
But let's go into some Reddit,
Reddit
stories.
stories.
You
You
love
want me to
it.
start
Hey.
Oh, you're gonna
for
start
the
it?
switch
Okay.
up? I
You
have
can
a
Are we?
messed up one.
Do
Okay.
you?
Yeah.
Mess me up.
Okay, ready?
Mess me up, girl.
Confession.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, I drugged my dad for a whole month.
Ooh, okay.
Warning, contains abuse. My father was a raging asshole. He used to beat us and yell at us about how worthless we were constantly. My mother finally had enough and said that either he gets psychological help or she leaves him. He went to the doctor and was prescribed an antipsychotic medication. When he started taking it, he magically became nice. No more beatings, no more yelling. It was paradise. Then, after a while, he turned mean again. We asked our mom what was going on, and she said that he stopped taking his medication because he didn't like the side effects, whatever that meant. We felt doomed until one day my mom accidentally left his prescription bottle in the kitchen. My sister and I looked at each other and didn't even have to say a thing. She got out a spoon and I ground the white pill into powder and we put it in his orange juice. What a nice day we had. We did this very single day, enjoying our temporary happy home until this prescription ran out. It was the best month of our childhood and I'm not sorry. There's an edit.
Okay, so do you want initial thoughts on that?
Or do you want to go to the edit first?
I'll go to the edit.
Okay.
For those saying that antipsychotics take weeks to work, that's not always the case. In contrast, antidepressants often take weeks to work. People have commented that they've taken antipsychotics such as Latuda, whatever, and they claim they feel the effects in hours. FYI, I have no memory of exactly what drug he was on. Some people wanted to know more about my home life. If you want, you can learn more about it. Short story here, and she links it. And then she pretty much says thank you for all the good comments, I guess. But so what do you guys think? I mean, it's kind of messed up though.
It is because at the same time you don't know what kind of side effects
Really side effects can
that he
happen.
was complaining about.
which it could really mess them up. But
It's
again,
it's fishy.
I want to say, obviously he's a terrible father for doing that, but since he's also on those meds, it obviously shows that he's going through something.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Yeah,
you
but
have to take that into like
consideration.
consideration. Yeah, where it's just like what he did was wrong and it shouldn't happen, but it's just like what is going on with him, like
Yeah.
I
something
mean,
that you can't
I will
really
say
control.
this, like, it's one thing to, so obviously he needed meds, this and
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
So, and it sounds like for the most part he was good when he was on
He was
it,
on it.
and so it goes to prove that like
It works.
a lot of that behavior was coming from whatever he deals
yeah.
with, but the way he handled it, like, just I'm not doing it. I mean, what if it's he got meds? He's working with a psychiatrist, right?
Yeah.
So what he should have done is like go to the psychiatrist. Hey, the side effects on this are
These
not
don't work.
playing
Yeah.
right, or whatever it is. Like obviously it worked, but it's just whatever the side effects. What are my alternatives? Can we try something else? And just like you got to keep working on
Do you
it.
guys think that he was just forced to go to the doctor? That's why he did it initially, and then he got sick and tired of
That's a
like,
possibility. That's a
oh, I'm taking the
possibility.
pills. I don't want to take pills.
The dangerous thing is like I'm glad it worked out and nothing serious happened, but the dangerous thing is like we don't know what the side effects were, and sometimes side effects can be very life threatening.
Yeah, true.
And like to do that as a kid, I get like they were doing it out of sounds like survival,
Yep.
Yeah, seems
which
like
is a
it.
whole other situation. But
Yeah.
it's it's also like you should never drug someone unknowingly because you just don't if you really don't understand what you're giving them and why they're
Yeah.
not taking it.
I mean,
Yeah.
granted,
But
we're
granted, they
we're
should
gonna pass it because they're kids; they don't know better.
at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like okay.
For a
I
whole
mean,
month.
that brings,
trying.
I guess, another question to my mind: when do you know better? Like, if these kids, like, how old were they? Like, if they were like 6, maybe I could pass it. If they
There
were
is a
like
link.
13,
Let me
you knew
see.
what was going on. Like I
Yeah.
think at 13 years old, you're conscious enough to know like your surroundings that
Yeah.
like
But
something is wrong.
but also it's like, are they even in an environment where it's safe to address it? As a
Oh no,
13-year-old?
no, that's a whole different
So,
question,
yeah.
But I'm just saying though, as far as like Dave Chappelle said, when I was 13 years old, I was out there, trying to finger bang people, like like life. You knew
Yeah.
what was happening.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't blame them for
yeah,
what they did,
yeah.
for sure. But yeah, and it just sounds like,
And luckily there was no bad side, like
but
bad
that's
things
the
transpire.
parents, like the spouse should have really been a proponent of like, hey, I understand you don't want to take these anymore, but you need to be on something.
Yeah.
Let's talk to somebody because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
there needs to be consequences of some
Yeah,
sorts.
because I heard a similar story like that where this dad wore a red hat like anytime, and then you couldn't talk to him during those times.
When he understood, he's like, I'm on a mood
Yeah,
right now.
Like,
yeah,
don't speak to me.
yeah, because he
Don't
beat,
antagonize me.
yeah,
Don't try things with me right now.
because he beat the living out
Oh
of
yeah.
his
Oh my
wife
gosh.
and kids.
Oh no.
So he went to therapy to figure out what was going on, and they basically figured out a
A
way to,
routine that at least
yeah,
help
yeah,
everybody
yeah,
live,
but
coexist.
yeah, but he never knew he thought that was normal for most families. Like when my dad's wearing the red hat, don't speak to him, don't even ask for the salt, don't ask for nothing from him. Just
What if
So
he
it's like,
wears this hat every day? Like, how do you function with a person like that?
again, there were just moments that he didn't wear the hat. That was it.
Okay.
just in
You
this
know,
particular
yeah,
situation,
yeah.
it seemed to
Okay,
be
okay.
Yeah,
working.
Yeah,
like, and it was kept to just the family itself. And then he found out through his mother, like, because he had his girlfriend over, and his girlfriend asked, like, "Hey, could I get the salt?" And he was wearing the red hat, and everybody just froze, and the dad
Like,
just got up and left.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Luckily enough,
Luckily, it was not
he,
triggered enough to
he
react.
yeah,
He was
well,
able
he
to like,
was
I need to step out.
yeah, to react that way instead of the other way. But then the mother or
It's
his
like,
sister
hey.
explained, it was like, no, he was violent and very deadly. Like
So like,
that
don't you see that red hat? You
you do not.
say anything.
Yeah, exactly. Which again, I'm grateful at least
It's
they
very
found a way.
nuanced, but hey,
Yeah, but
very nuanced.
yeah, but I would like if I ever found myself in a situation where I'm the dangerous one, I feel like I would just remove myself from like
Yeah.
like if I'm beating my kids or doing something wrong like that, um, just take myself out of the situation and not unalive myself, but just like I'm gonna go
Live alone for a little.
yeah, and just figure this out and see if I can get this really sorted out because there shouldn't never be a time
Yeah,
No one
where
look at anger
deserves
management,
yeah,
look at
yeah,
professional
that,
help,
yeah.
stuff
exactly.
like
So That's
Yeah.
it's
I
very
mean, even
crazy.
my dad did that. Like, my dad is like he's never been physical
Right.
ever, but he, especially when he was younger, he had a temper that he couldn't really control,
Mm.
and he had a lot of issues in life because people would manipulate him using his temper.
Uh,
They if they didn't want him involved in something, they just knew it was like, oh, I just need to push this button, and he'll blow it up himself.
Oh, that's insane.
You know, and
That's abuse.
his family would manipulate him that way because it's like he's like, oh, he's not handling things the way they're
That's
like,
so
well, if
sad.
we make him blow up, he'll just blow it up himself and then separate himself. And it's like,
yeah.
which he is like, I hate not feeling in control because
Yeah.
people keep wanting to just push buttons unnecessarily. And so he
Mm.
took a time himself that he's like, even with like my mom, they were like high school sweethearts basically.
Mm.
And he actually separated because she wanted to get married, and he was like, I don't think I'm in the mental space that like
Mm.
to actually like get married and be with you right now. I need to figure my stuff out because I don't want to put myself in a situation where I blow everything up because
Mm-hmm.
I can
Yeah.
control myself. And that's what he did. He went
Awareness,
out and
though.
like a
Yeah.
couple years in go therapy, stuff like that, and he figured out how to
I'm
like
proud of him. That's awesome.
figure himself out to a level that he felt like he could come back, and
Oh, that's great. And your mom
thankfully it
waited.
worked
That's
out.
awesome.
You know.
Wow.
And
Okay.
your
Should I
story?
go into mine?
Yeah, please.
Cool. So we were talking a little before the podcast about people not growing up with real life consequences until they have to.
Let's get it.
So, okay, so am I the jerk for refusing to pay for my brother's mistake, even though it could ruin his future potentially?
Mm. Okay.
So, I, 27 female, have a younger brother. Let's call him Ethan. He's 22 male, who's always been the golden child in my family. He's smart, charming, and somehow has never faced real consequences in life. I'm the responsible one. Moved out early, works 2 jobs, even though I'm going to school still, and helps my parents with bills when things get tight. 2 months ago, Ethan crashed my car while borrowing it. He was out with his friends, he was speeding, and then he hit a parked vehicle. Nobody was seriously hurt, thank God, but the damage was bad. He admitted it was his fault. The problem, he let his own insurance lapse and didn't tell anyone. So now there's a huge repair bill, and the other driver is threatening to take legal action. My parents immediately decided I should cover everything because I have the stable job and Ethan is just starting his life. They said I shouldn't ruin his record over one stupid night. Ethan promised he'd pay me back eventually, but he does already owe me money from before, and I've never seen again. I told him no. I said, Ethan needs to deal with the consequences like an adult. Since since then, my mom has been crying on the phone saying, I'm tearing this family apart. My dad says I'm being cold, and Ethan isn't speaking to me at all. My aunt even called me to say I'm letting pride destroy my brother's future. Part of me feels guilty because I could pay for it. It would hurt me financially, but I survived. Another part of me is exhausted from always being the safety net while Ethan learns nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the jerk for saying finally enough, or am I just being heartless to my own family?
She's not a jerk. First of all, why is she in charge of bailing out? We're the parents. That's not my son. That's your son. So if you want to condone his behavior and him never learning anything about life, then go ahead and pay for them. I'm not like, why am I in charge of that? Like, I don't understand.
I'm sort of different in that view, I guess.
Okay.
Do I think she should pay? No. Do I think she should help her family at this situation in time? Yes. That's where I see.
Yeah, but she's been helping for a long time now.
And that's where I see, like, okay, you can just make the boundary very clear right there and then, and just this is the limit. This is where it ends. This kid obviously needs to learn a lesson, but if it's gonna hurt him in the aspect of like his whole life, that's where I'm just like,
Well,
okay.
But how
that's
is this
where
going to affect his whole life?
yeah,
though?
that's what my point is. And my other
Yeah.
biggest point in this too,
Yeah.
I think I agree with Poe in the sense this is a parent's responsibility to deal with their son's mistakes,
Yeah.
not a sister's.
Mhm.
The parent shouldn't be relying on their kids, especially when they're young in their 20s,
Yeah.
I
to
agree.
be. So I think
But is
that
there a reason why they're going to that?
it
Maybe
sounds, it sounds like that's what they're kind of used to. Like, hey,
I'm just imagining that they're broke. They're living through just because maybe I'm projecting on my family or just like
Hmm.
we only have enough to live.
I feel like if that was the case, she would have said something.
I feel
in there.
like, yeah, he's like, and she does help. She does help her parents when
I'm
they
not
get
saying she
tight.
doesn't.
No, I'm just
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
that's what's it. Based on the context of the
yeah,
story, to not like embellish any further.
yeah.
Based on the context, it seems that they're fine and that like,
If we're going through that, then yes, then
yeah,
the parents should pay, and that's fine.
I
But
would
to
just,
me, it sounds different.
yeah,
Yeah,
but at the same
yeah,
time, I would say also like the way they reacted
Yeah,
though
the
feels
approach is insane.
very, very codependent,
Yeah.
because you shouldn't, just because someone's like, hey, like, because it's also like, it doesn't sound like she can really afford it. She says I'd survive, but she says it will hurt her financially.
Oh yeah, no, I hear
So
that.
so it's to not have any like ask, like to be like, hey, if you're not doing this, you're heartless. Like to be like overreact and like cry about it and all that stuff. It's like, it's not like, I feel like she would say is like, if her mom was like, hey, I would help him if I could, but we really financially couldn't. It doesn't
Mhm.
sound like that was said to her at all. It just sounds like the expectation is you bail out your brother,
Yeah.
and there's not even an offer to say like, hey, we're trying to help him in this at all.
They haven't even asked her, like, not in a nice way, like, hey, do you mind helping out?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of missing context.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Yes, you should be willing to help your family if they're in a position of need.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But based on what I read, I feel there's less
You know what
evidence
this
to
is?
that.
This is exactly what you guys asked me about being single like only children
yeah.
versus being somebody with no, we're a family. We're here to. I
Oh,
was
don't get me
yeah,
started at, because I am a family and I'm the first one
no,
to drop. Like, I'm gonna say that specifically because that is a trigger point for me. It's a huge trigger point for me.
yeah.
So let me just finish my
Go
statement.
ahead.
Well, first of all, I want to say is don't ever suggest I'm not family oriented. I am
I
the first one.
you're
I
you're
know
pro-
you're
you're
not. I'm not.
projecting
I
that
know.
one. Yeah, yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
saying
yeah,
you're saying this.
yeah.
I just wanted to say generally why I'm feeling a certain way.
Okay.
I'm not saying this is what you're accusing me of or
Of
anything
course.
like that. That.
Because you are a family man. It's like,
Oh no, I
yeah,
get. Yeah. Thank you that
Yes.
you acknowledge that. But like, I understand the perspective of like, because I am like, no matter my parents, they struggle a lot. I've helped with the bills my whole life.
Mhm.
As far as our financial situation, my whole time growing up has been very communal.
Mhm.
So I understand doing that. But also growing up now, living on my own and seeing other systems and stuff, there, I would say though, my parents have ever expected me to
Mhm.
help them. They've never been codependent, and they've never freaked out when I said, I can't contribute to something. You know, they've never even gone as far as to expect
Mhm.
me to cover anything that they're going through.
Mhm.
I've always gone out of my way, this and that. And if I ever say, hey, I come up short, they they figure it out.
Yeah.
They're like, they own that, and they never put it on me
Mhm.
to figure things out for the family.
Mm.
Whereas this reaction is not the same. And then secondly, though, also is understanding that that is a disservice where someone's like, you do need to face real life consequences and
Of
stuff like
course.
that. But like, of course, if the consequences are severe, like if there is jail time in consideration, yes, you should get involved. If there is no financial means, but it should be more of a conversation than just being blacklisted from your family type of thing,
Yeah.
just because you're making a choice to hold a boundary, and more sympathy on both sides for that.
Yeah. Respect to her.
Yeah.
And I hope that her family isn't taking advantage of her. Obviously, I don't want anybody to be taken advantage of. But yeah, I that's a lot of ifs.
Just sounded
Yeah.
very like ungrateful.
No, but it's nice to see Victor be emotional.
I liked it.
Yeah, he was
like, trigger!
Yeah, this
I
is
get
a
triggered
trigger
always.
for me.
I'm
I was
like,
like, yeah,
ready to fight.
It's been a whole thing.
Don't worry, you're a
I
family
hate
man,
that
Victor.
too, though, when people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're the only child," makes sense, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Bro, I've had more sisters and brothers running around the neighborhood and learning from them than like you and your sister and brother would ever in your own family." Like, it's a trigger for me too.
It's been like an ongoing conversation even within like my marriage about like going through having that communal family oriented outlook and even financial outlook versus like a practical, like everyone has to stand on their own feet, where they're still family oriented, but it's like no, there's no expectation to be communal when it comes to finances and stuff like that. Because like with
I
like
feel
my
like
wife,
that.
she grew up that way because she was already on her own since 13,
Oh shoot.
and she doesn't take, because she never wanted to be a control mother, so she doesn't take money from her dad, like but she still helps her dad.
Well,
She sends money to him and stuff like that. But it's like an expectation type
But
thing.
that's just that little bit of weird to me. Is like it's not an expectations to us. It's just we're family and we take care of each other.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like that's where the difference lies. You know, and I've seen that my family's taken care of me countless times.
Yeah, same.
You
Like
know,
I would say the same
yeah.
thing. It's like I've had situations similar to that,
Yeah.
you know, where it's like, you know, I love my mom for the reason that like when things really go down, she's the most calm cucumber person. And
Nice.
she just, hey, takes care of it first, sees I'm okay, and then maybe like tell me they're like she's picked me up when I've been in handcuffs before. You know.
Oh, that's good.
Over stupid
Bad
little
Victor.
things. Over stupid little things.
He's not so much of an angel, guys.
The other side.
So we'll end it with this one last story
Yeah.
because we gotta get going.
Yeah, we
So,
keep talking.
which this goes back to just Valentine's Day. It's a cute story, so I think it's a good time for everybody. Tell me your funny, awful, crazy Valentine's Day stories. I adore my husband, but he's not great at gifts. In the late 80s, he got me a red sweater for Valentine's Day, and I loved it. Every year since, he's got me a red sweater. Hold on. My favorite color is green.
That's so cute.
Is that it?
That's it.
He probably was like, "Oh, I saw her reaction. Now I'm gonna get her."
Yeah, so sweet and innocent.
That's 100% a male thing. It's just like
Some
she
people are
liked
just
it. I'm
not
gonna do
good.
it every time.
So I can slightly relate to it.
Go ahead.
Not necessarily like the same gift every year, but me and Pete, right? Again, we're new. We've been only dating for 6 months. I'm very sentimental, and I actually like putting an effort into gifts. And I'm not saying something expensive, an actual effort. So I got him these Lego like red roses, which like some guys will be like, I don't want fucking flowers for Valentine's Day. But he's again, we're not talking to a regular man. He's so in tune with his emotions, and he loves cheesy stuff like that. So
I don't think that's cheesy at all. Like
okay,
to
but
get
that's cool.
Legos,
Yeah, that's really cool.
so
Sorry,
I'm like
you're talking
sitting
to
there,
different
right?
people.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh shit, I have to put this thing together, and it's taking me like hours to fucking
He would have
put these
loved to do it himself, honestly.
Yeah. So I've been working on it, and he recently came over, and I'm like, now we're even near done because there's 12 roses, and I'm like on 3 now. I'm trying to put this shit together, and he's like, babe, this is so thoughtful. I would never think of that, And same with writing cards. I like to do handwriting the cards, like for birthday, for Valentine's Day, for any occasion, because. Again, going back to like the boxes, I hope you put it somewhere in a drawer, in a box where like 10 years from now, you're going to be like, wow, this was our first Valentine's Day and you wrote me this cute card. And I don't know, I'm very thoughtful and I switch up the gifts. And then there's some people who are like, oh, here's flowers and chocolate covered strawberries. Cool. Like I still appreciate it, but the thought behind it,
Well, yeah, I think it's a sweet thing to have that kind of thing.
It's like, what is gonna stick to your memory more? Like flowers are awesome, don't get me wrong.
Do you feel like if someone like got you something you really like, but then they start getting you this similar or same thing every year, would you feel a certain way about it? Like, do you feel like
I would probably
it's
like,
lazy?
baby, I love it, but I don't know. I don't ever ask people for things. I show them what I like. So
they're terrible.
Why?
Just
be direct.
Yeah,
that's what.
Thank you.
No, what I'm okay. Okay, so in this case right now,
East European.
No, because I think that's very rude. Like it's like again, we're talking about in the previous episodes we talked about like, oh, I don't want a man to feel like he's not good enough because I'm telling him what to do. You know what I'm saying? So it might feel like.
How would that feel like they're not good enough?
Well, we had this conversation like off the camera where it was like. Pete was like, oh, when you tell me what to do or what not to do or switch something about my behavior to get a better outcome from my family, I feel like I'm not good enough. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really going back to like the gift giving, I don't ever want to be like,
It's nuanced though, you know, in the sense of like, I don't think you're telling someone what to do when you're like, oh, I would love to get this giant Rocher chocolate ball one day
So
as a gift type of thing.
I know what you're saying. So I do tell him like, hey babe, like this is what I like. If he asks me like, what do you like? Then I'll tell him.
Okay,
But I wouldn't come to the table and be like, next time don't get me a sweater, get me something else. Like
Okay.
I think that's rude. I would never.
no,
that makes sense.
right.
Yeah, putting it that way would be
First
rude.
of all, like you
Yeah.
don't even have to give me anything, you know? So I kind of, how I go about gifts is like, I show people what I like and what means a lot to me. And then I hope that they will give me the same energy or similar energy down the road. If they don't, it's cool. Whatever you want to give me, great. But same, like, for instance, with the card that I wrote for him for his birthday, he's like, oh my God, I didn't realize that you love that stuff. Now I feel like I need to give you a card every year. I'm like, no, you don't. You can do something else sentimental, but I do love cards. So I'm expecting that he's going to give me a card next year because I showed him how much it means to me.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know if that's wrong, but I hope it's not. That's not the goal here.
I don't think so, but
No.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's, yeah, if there's any question to that post, it's
I-
just like if you're having an issue, communicate. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm loving these red sweaters, but maybe let's change it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate the gift, but let's do red pants now.
Yeah, it's similar
Her favorite
to
color is green, actually.
Oh, wow.
yeah, like it's like
Aw.
like that one story I told you about that husband that like that continually got the same meal every year, like
Oh, the
yeah,
chicken parma, what was it?
yeah, and it was chicken malazan or whatever.
Oh, chicken Milanese.
Yeah, chicken Milanese, yeah.
Oh, that's so
and
funny.
then, like he ate it for years, and it's like, honey, I gotta tell you, like I was
hate
wrong.
it.
like I actually like chicken Milanese. It was just
Yeah.
like it was just like, but it was at that point it's so old. You saw that he would scarf that down if he had to, kind of
Yeah.
thing like that, because
Yeah.
he just had love for her. But yeah,
So cute.
guys, that's where we're gonna end. No filter, no fear today. I hope you enjoyed. Join us next week. Or maybe the week after. I don't know if I take a break. It depends. I'm busy. You know, I got things to do too. You know?
Do you?
Yeah, I gotta get new shirts.
Facts.
Yeah. Next one. If you guys want to send me a shirt, I might wear it. Yeah.
Oh,
there
yeah,
you go.
yeah,
there you go. Yeah. Anime, please. Or
Comments.
or
Leave them
cool-
in.
Yeah.
How
yeah.
should you dress?
Ooh. Yeah. All right, guys.
Peace.